For several months, a vegetable vendor named Chuanye Zhang often sent a lot of fruits and vegetables to the Taichung Buddhist Lotus Society as offerings. It happened so many times, and the Lotus friends couldn't help but express their gratitude to him. He replied, "I'm here to repay the Buddha's kindness because it was a vow I made while I was ill, because Amitabha healed my illness, and I'm grateful for his great kindness." Afterwards, Layman Zhang tirelessly recounted the inspiration he received from chanting Buddha, as well as the story of how he had his liver cut out by the king of doctors in a dream. He said, "When I worked in a shoe factory 10 years ago, an accountant at the shoe factory gave me a brief introduction to Buddhism. After reading it, I felt that Buddhism is boundless and can save people and save the world. I immediately went to the bookstore and bought 2 Buddhist books. One was Master Yingguang's manuscripts and the other was the Book of Anshi. It was only then that I felt I had discovered a treasure. Every night, I read late into the silent night. It can be said that I was very delighted to obtain the Dharma. I rented a house at that time, and the bed and the pillars were full of lice. At first, I trampled them to death one by one. But the more I trampled, the more they came. At that time, I saw a passage in the manuscripts of Master Yingguang. There were many lice in Master's retreat room. A disciple knocked on the door and asked for cleaning, but the Master refused. A few months later, the disciple asked the Master again about the lice. Master Yingguang said, "All suffering is gone. They have moved away." After reading this small passage, I would not trample them to death again, but caught them one by one and released them into the manure pit. However, there were a lot of troubles after releasing lice, and I didn't dare to spread pesticides to eliminate them. As a result, lice were everywhere. I had no idea what to do. In a helpless situation, I suddenly remembered to follow the example of Master Yingguang, so I said to lice, "Lice, if I attain Buddhahood, I will first ferry you out of suffering, but now I am an ordinary person who recite Amitabha. Now I teach you to recite Amitabha Buddha to seek rebirth in the West. Lice, I recite and you follow me, and keep reciting Amitabha." After teaching the lice to recite Amitabha in this way, within 2 weeks, an unbelievable miracle happened. One day when I was cleaning the bedroom, I picked up the straw mat on the bed. Oddly enough, the uncountable lice have gone elsewhere, and not a single one remains. I was so baffled by this unbelievable thing. Layman Zhang added, "I used to be a heavy drinker and drank 2 or 3 bottles of wine every day. 5 years ago, I suffered from liver disease. I have tried both Chinese and Western medicine, but to no avail. I'd been lingering on sickbed for months. When I was terminally ill, all I could think of was praying to the Buddha to guide me to the West. Several times when I was on the verge of death, I sat on the bed and recited the Buddha. When I couldn't utter a word, I recited them silently with my heart. The incredible miracle occurred again. That night, like a dream or not a dream, I saw a doctor dressed in white, holding a sharp knife in his right hand and a liver in his left hand, and he cut me open with a knife under my right chest, and then he cut off my liver with a pair of scissors. The doctor showed me the smelly and rotten liver with a smile and put the new liver into my belly and left. Once I woke up, I was much more relaxed and stabilized, and I immediately made a vow: if I am healthy, I will repay the Buddha's kindness and make many offerings to the Buddhist practitioners. In addition, when I have the spare money, I will even pay for the sticking of the Buddha's golden body. Since last year, I have been healing gradually without realizing it and have recovered as usual." He added, "Amitabha protects me in every possible way." Another time, I was riding my bicycle to an intersection. Suddenly, a large motorcycle came barreling down the road. My bicycle was knocked down and rolled over. At this critical moment, I instantly shouted Amitabha loudly. I don't know how I managed to jump 10 feet away without suffering any injury. The man fell to the ground with his motorcycle and was seriously injured. His bones were broken and his flesh was torn. He was bleeding all over the ground and was very pitiful. Those who sincerely recite the name of the Buddha will gain inconceivable benefits. I advise you all to recite Namo Amitabha Buddha and Namo Guanchi Yin Bodhisattva.